Our final guest is Beth Onofry. And Beth, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
You were perfect. Thank you so much.
Beth leads Breakthrough New York, a nonprofit that has been shepherding low-income, high-achieving New York City school students through schooling for close to 2 decades. So welcome to the show, Beth.
Thank you so much, Edwina. It's wonderful to be with you this morning.
So we're excited to talk a little bit about the challenges that many of our students are facing and how Breakthrough is helping them not only get to college, but through college as well. So can you talk a little bit about what your mission is?
Sure. We work with bright and motivated students who come from low-income families and are really passionate about education but maybe don't know how to access it. And so we provide educational support and opportunities from middle school through college graduation, as you said. And we also partner that with our Student Teaching Students model, which aims to inspire potential future educators, passionate young people to go into the field of education. And combined, we are hoping to create leaders who will break the cycle of poverty in their families and affect positive, powerful change in their communities.
What, in your opinion, sort of sets Breakthrough apart from other organizations that have this similar missions?
Sure. We have, I think, as I mentioned, our Student Teaching Students model is pretty unique. Believing in the power of near-peer role models, I think students look up to those. The students who are going through our program, especially the younger ones, really look up to the students they're working with and learning from. We have college students who are getting experience in the classroom and teaching them firsthand, and so they see these students going off to college. They learn about how they got there, and they're also inspired by what they're learning in the classroom, and that can be a really powerful experience for everybody involved. I also think our 10-year commitment is pretty unique. We start working with students at the end of 6th grade and see them all the way through college graduation, and that's a long time for students to commit to, but it's a long time that we see is just incredibly important. There's so many transition points along the way, and really want to be there for our students and families every step of the way.
How do students find you? You know, how and why do they enroll in your program? And how many students a year do you serve?
Well, right now we're growing every year, actually, and this year we're serving over 550 students in all 10 grades that we're working with, and we'll grow to over 900 students. So it's a pretty exciting time to be part of the program, and pretty exciting for us that we can reach even more students. And the way that we do that, right now, actually, we're launching our admissions process for this year. So we identify students, or they come to us, maybe through a guidance counselor recommendation, or they hear about us as we reach out to their communities. We're going to do information sessions in all the boroughs and talk to different schools directly to just get out word about our program, and students will go through the admissions process during the 6th grade year. That's pretty intense. They fill out an application, write essays, they do some interviews, we meet with their families, see how the students work together with one another. We're a pretty strong community, and that's an important part of our experience. But really, the goal is to kind of have a holistic process where we really get to know the student and family, and make sure that they know what they're getting into with this 10-year commitment, but also can explain all the support we'll provide and opportunities we'll provide along the way.
Who is the typical Breakthrough New York student?
We work with students from a full range of backgrounds. Most of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch. It's typical for a student in our program to be the first in their family to go to college. Sometimes they're the first in their family to be in this country. We also, again, serve students from a variety of racial and ethnic backgrounds. So the majority of our students are Black and Hispanic, but all students are eligible to apply. Again, the students all come from low-income families, and they're really bright and motivated. So we're looking for students who are achieving at least an 80 or above in their classes at school, and that are scoring highly on their state tests, 3 or above on their state tests. So range of factors we consider.
And over the course of an academic year and throughout the entire year, actually, what are some of the things Breakthrough New York is doing to help these students overcome the challenges they faced?
The program looks different at different phases along the way, but when a student enters the program, they enter a pretty intensive academic experience with us. We do a 5-week full day, everyday academic program where they're taking classes, and students achieve about a semester's worth of growth in their academic work just over the summer. So they enter each school year really prepared to excel. We provide tutoring and additional support during the school year after school. Twice a week they come and join us with our programming. About 300 hours of support we're providing for these students. We also provide test prep. We know that one of the hurdles to getting into high schools and then later into colleges is to master these standardized tests. Our high school students take 3 different kinds of tests as they apply to the full range of schools, public, private, and parochial. So we support them with going through that application process with testing, but also with knowing what are the other parts of the process. How do you apply for financial aid? How do you fill out an application form? What's even required? So we're providing guidance and support and training for students and their families as they go through these different transition points, and then continue that support as they move into these college prep high schools through additional enrichment courses, access to opportunities, and mentorship. And again, during college, we do some great workshops to help students prepare for what the college experience will be like and support them along the way and help them connect to professional development opportunities as well so they can graduate prepared to enter the profession of their choice.
And only in recent years you expanded to the 10 years to help students once they're in college. What prompted you to do that?
We realized that despite all the preparation we'd been doing earlier on, there are new challenges and new transitions that come up along the way. And especially if we're working with a population of students who will be the first in their families to go to college, college is a really unique experience, and we wanted to be there with them to see them through, to make sure that students are making great choices as they choose their major, their classes they're taking. That can have a big impact on whether or not they can graduate on time, if they're fulfilling the requirements they need to. Certainly financial aid can be an incredible challenge, both when you're applying to school, but also continuing each year. And so making sure we can provide that added support and navigate that process with them and help them learn to advocate for themselves in the process is really, really important. So we're really proud. We just graduated our first class to complete the 10-year program. And as more and more students go through our pipeline, because we've expanded our enrollment at earlier phases, we're excited to continue to bolster our support through that full 10-year pipeline.
Well, congratulations on that milestone. I'm just curious, since you've been doing this for quite a few years now, do you see or do you have a number of alumni coming back to volunteer and get involved in the program?
Yeah, we're delighted actually to have 2 alumni currently on staff, and they serve as incredible role models to our students. They're particularly working with our high school students, but they're also working with us to establish a strong alumni association. So we do have alumni who come back. We have students enrolled in our program who serve as the teaching fellows to younger students and to tutors for younger students. So there is a really wonderful connection that we have between our older students who've really been there and gone through the program and what they're able to share with the younger students, and to know that it's possible. You know, one can do it. I've done it. These are things I've learned, and they can pass along that with them. It's really exciting to see.
And so exciting for them, I would imagine, that experience and opportunity. I want to go back to something you had mentioned a little bit earlier in terms of helping students prepare for schools. You help them prepare for the city's specialized high schools as well. And so we're curious as to what your reaction has been to Mayor de Blasio's proposal to overhaul the single test admission practice at those schools.
It's a fascinating time in education, and I really love that there's a great debate happening about this topic right now. It's really important that we talk about access that all of our students have to strong educational opportunities. And so for me, it's really interesting too. I started my career working in college admissions, and seeing the process, as some think of it as kind of the end goal, we're getting students into college, and reading those applications, there was never a time that we made a decision based on a single admissions criteria, never a time that we made a decision just on test scores alone. And so to me, it's frankly shocking that that happens now, and for students who are even younger. So I am excited by the fact that de Blasio is talking about different ways of approaching the admissions process, of broadening it out, providing more context and more opportunity to a range of students who are high achievers. I think I understand there are lots of different perspectives on the right way to go about this, and even the fact that there are some divisions that have come up in light of the different approaches suggested. We do have students who are going to specialized high schools, but we believe that more students should be able to access that, and we recognize that not all students have a support system like Breakthrough New York that can provide additional test prep and that opportunity. So I think we need to continue to talk about ways to move beyond a single test admissions criteria, and I'm glad that we're doing that.
Well, it's hard to believe, our time is almost up. And the minute that we have left with you, can you share with our listeners how they can find out more about Breakthrough New York and some of your volunteer opportunities? Absolutely.
So first, all the information can be found on our website, which is btny.org. We have wonderful opportunities for volunteers. As I mentioned, we have tutoring and teaching opportunities if you're a young person who's interested in getting involved in education. We also have opportunities for anyone to volunteer. You can help our students practice interviewing. We have financial aid information nights where we support families in filling out these complicated forms. You could interview our students if you're excited to meet them. They're really inspiring. So check out our website, btny.org, for those opportunities. And if you are a little younger, or if you have a family member who is perhaps in 5th or 6th grade, please look into our admissions process. There's an admissions tab on the website that describes what the process looks like. We're just at the beginning for this year. And again, we're just really excited to reach out to students all across the city. We have sites in different locations so that it's more accessible for students to get to. So if you are a 6th grader or know one who's really bright and motivated, please check us out. We would really love to work with you.
Beth Onofry, thank you so much for joining us here on City Watch today.
Thank you,
Thank
Beth.
you so much, Jeff and Rena. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Same
You
to
too.
you.
So another episode of City Watch is coming to a close. Before we close, Edwina and I have a message about this next week and what we want our listeners to do, and that is
VOTE vote. The primary is Thursday, not Tuesday. Thursday, September 13th. Polls open at 6 and close at 9.
And I want to quote former President Obama, what he said yesterday: the biggest threat to our democracy is indifference. So do not be indifferent this coming week. Please remember to vote. Again, thank you, Edwina, for co-hosting today's show. Thanks to our awesome engineer, Sean Rhodes, for a wonderful performance on the boards. And thanks especially to you, the listeners, for supporting the show. We're simply unable to do this without your generosity. If you missed any part of the show or just want to listen again, the MP3 download is going to be at www.wbai.org. Click on Archives and then City Watch. The show will be up and ready online in about 10 minutes and be up for 90 days. That's it for us. Stay tuned for On the Count and enjoy your weekend.